Hello everyone, Shindo Bean here, and this will be the last faction-focused video for Realms of Ruin, at least until they release more factions, which are hopefully coming in the future. But in this one we'll be looking at all the units and structures of Nighthaunt, which is an army of ghostly apparitions. It also happens to be the most aggressive army, due to the fact that they have the cheapest units, they have a higher starting population cap than the other factions, and they can easily start building multiple units at once a lot more quickly than the other factions. So if you like the Zerg Rush kind of playstyle, Nighthaunt might be a good faction for you. Looking at all their units and upgrades here, we have a total of 9 units, 3 from each tier, and you'll notice that, like the Disciples of Tzeentch, Nighthaunt do not have any heavy units at tier 1. Now, one of the things that makes Nighthaunt unique is their army-wide ability called Ethereal, which basically gives every one of their units a shield, kind of like the Protoss shields, which means that before they take any damage to their health, they will have that Spectral Protection shield, which takes the damage first. And once that is depleted, then they'll start taking damage to the health. But when out of combat, that Spectral Protection will regenerate back to full. Nighthaunt also have a couple unique upgrades, which we will look at a little bit later. But let's start off with the tier 1 units. So Chain Rasps are the assault unit at tier 1. They cost only 95 command for a unit of 8. They have the charge ability for 60 command. And Wave of Terror is a passive ability which synergizes with other units that have the Wave of Terror ability, but it has to be upgraded in every case. For Chain Rasps, it increases their attack damage for each nearby unit with Wave of Terror, but they only get 1 increase to their damage if it's just Chain Rasps. So there are actually other units that can get the Wave of Terror. So if you have all 4 of those types of units together, they can get the maximum boost from Wave of Terror, but that will be pretty late in the game. They also have the Reinforce activated ability, which for just 25 Realmstone, they can channel to heal and reinforce the unit. So you don't have to retreat back to base in order to heal the unit back to full. Pretty useful ability there. So you do have to choose between either Wave of Terror or Reinforce. If you get the Wave of Terror upgrade, it's probably a good idea to get Wave of Terror on the other units as well. Moving on to the ranged tier 1 unit, we've got the Craven Throne Guard, and there are 5 of these guys per unit for 110 command. The activated ability they come with is called Spectral Bolts, which for 40 Realmstone fires a bolt that chains between nearby enemies, reducing their armor and movement speed. And then they have 2 upgrades at tier 1, either Wave of Terror or Hunters of Champions, which increases their attack range and damage to heroic units. Now, for Chain Rasps, the Wave of Terror increases their attack damage, but for Craven Throne Guard, it increases their ranged attack speed instead. And then at tier 3, you can get the Reign of Death upgrade, which increases the max unit size of the Craven Throne Guard to 8. And then we've got the tier 1 hero, which is the Knight of Shrouds, which costs 210 command and 30 Realmstone. He's got 2 activated abilities. The first one, Stolen Hours, costs 50 Realmstone and fires a wave that slows and burns struck enemies, healing the Knight of Shrouds for each enemy hit. And then for 30 Realmstone, you can use Spectral Fury, which grants the Knight of Shrouds and surrounding allied Nighthaunt units unstoppable and causes them to deal more damage for a short duration. And at tier 1 he has the upgrade Stolen Days and Years, which just upgrades the Stolen Hours ability, increasing its range and causing extra damage to monster units as well. Moving on to tier 2, the Hex Wraiths are the assault unit. There are 3 of them per unit and it costs 250 command and 50 Realmstone. They have a charge ability called Phantasmal Advance for 120 command, causing them to gallop forward, slowing and burning enemies pass through. And then they have 2 other activated abilities. Phantasmal Discorporation causes them to become hidden and increase their speed until revealed. And then Spectral Touch for 70 Realmstone causes fear and reveals enemy units within range. Fear just causes the enemy to cower down and back away for a few seconds, so it will prevent them from attacking as well. And then they have 1 upgrade called Nightmarish Advance, which upgrades the Phantasmal Advance ability, causing it to stun enemies instead of slowing them, so that affects their charge attack. And then the tier 2 hero is called Guardian of Souls. It costs 280 command and 100 Realmstone. He has a passive ability called Lantern Aura, which slows and reveals nearby enemies. And then for 120 Realmstone, you can use the Spectral Lure ability, which channels to heal and reinforce allied units within range. So powerful healing ability for your hordes, and of course the more that you have surrounding the Guardian of Souls, the more impactful that ability will be. He's got 2 upgrades you can choose from at tier 2. So the first one, Spirit Drain, increases the basic attack range and damage it deals to elite units. Or you can choose Magical Domination, which unlocks a passive silencing aura around the Guardian of Souls, preventing enemies from using their activated abilities. And then at tier 3 you can get the Summon Forth upgrade, which allows him to use the ability which for 250 Realmstone allows him to summon a Mourgo, which is a powerful tier 3 unit at a target location. It lasts for just 60 seconds and you can only have 1 at a time. So if you already built a Mourgo at tier 3, you can't use this ability until that one dies. But still, the ability to summon a powerful tier 3 unit in 5 seconds anywhere where this guy is on the field can be quite powerful. And then we got the first heavy unit for Nighthaunt, the Miror Banshees. So these do have the ability to fly. There are 4 of them per unit, and they cost 250 command and 75 Realmstone. They can also be upgraded with the Wave of Terror upgrade, which in this case increases their armor for each nearby unit. And then their activated ability is called Spell Eater. For 70 Realmstone, it creates a large aura that silences and reveals enemy units, grounds enemy flyers, and reduces non-melee damage taken by allied. And then there are 2 upgrades they can choose from. Diabolical Hunger increases their movement speed and increases the range of the Spell Eater ability, or they can get Wave of Terror. And finally, moving on to tier 3, we've got the Grimghast Reapers. This is the assault unit. There are 7 of these guys per unit. They cost 490 command and 200 Realmstone. And they have a charge ability called Reaping Charge for 120 command, which for them it creates an armor-reducing aura around the Reapers. It can also be upgraded with the Wave of Terror, but that is at tier 3, so pretty late in the game. But for them it increases the attack speed of the Reapers. And one other thing, when you upgrade units with the Wave of Terror upgrade, their weapons will start to glow with this ghostly flame, so you can more easily identify which ones have the upgrade. And there's also a little bar with 4 sections under the Spectral Protection bar, so you can easily tell by how much they're getting buffed from the Wave of Terror. And then we got the heavy unit for tier 3. This is the Mourgo, a giant monster which costs 460 command and 160 Realmstone. It has a passive ability called Devour of Souls, which allows it to heal whenever killing an enemy. And then Ghastly Terror for 140 Realmstone is an ability where it leaps to a location, dealing area damage and causing fear to enemies nearby. And then the tier 3 hero for Nighthaunt is Allat the Drowner. He costs 540 command and 220 Realmstone. He's got a charge ability called Scything Ram for 120 command, which causes fear to enemies passed through. And then he has 2 other abilities. Passage Through the Underworlds costs 200 Realmstone, but it's basically a mask recall. You choose a location, and then this guy and all of the friendly units around him will instantly teleport to that location. And then his other ability, Dragged to the Depths, costs 175 Realmstone, and it stuns and burns all enemy units within range and grounds enemy flyers. And then we've got a few additional unit upgrades. These are unique to Nighthaunt. No other factions have upgrades like this, which affect multiple units. They're both at tier 2, and actually you have to choose between the 2. You can't have both. So Authority and Death increases the defense and basic attack damage of the Knight of Shrouds and Guardian of Souls. So if you want to focus more on your heroes, you can choose that one. If you want to focus more on your hordes, you can choose Overwhelming Torment, which increases the health of Craven Throne Guard, Chain Rasps, and Hex Wraiths. And then Nighthaunt are also unique in that they only have 3 structures, including the command post, which is called the Black Rose Cemetery. The command post does have the same function as other factions. It heals and reinforces allied units, attacks and reveals enemies, generates command, and then you can upgrade it for the higher tiers and increasing the population cap. Again, Nighthaunt do have a higher starting population cap at 8, which increases to 12 with the first upgrade, then 14, then 16. And then after the final upgrade, you unlock the powerful faction ability Funeral Toll, which costs 250 Realmstone and bathes a very large area in this damaging light, and any enemies that are killed within that light become Chain Rasps that live for a short duration. But even if your population is capped, you can actually still summon these guys, so your population can go over the maximum limit if you use this ability. So very powerful. And then for the Arcane Conduits, we've got the Harvest Bastion, which is called the Life Siphon. This increases Realmstone production, but also allows you to summon 1 extra unit at a time. As you can imagine, this is very strong. Very early in the game, getting a structure that you will always be getting, because you always want Realmstone, of course. You'll be able to summon multiple units simultaneously, much earlier than the other factions. The upgrade remains the same for this, simply increasing the Realmstone production on the Life Siphon. And then the other structure is the Vision Bastion. It's called the Gibbet Watcher. This one also, in addition to increasing your command gain and revealing nearby enemies, allows you to summon an extra unit at a time to a maximum of 4 additional units. The Gibbet Watcher can be upgraded with the Search for Living upgrade, which basically does the same thing as every other faction. And then Nighthaunt have 2 structure upgrades that they can get at tier 2 as well. The first one, Ethereal Constructs, increases your Bastion's defense, and then Stillness of the Grave causes enemy units in your Bastion's regions to deal less damage, which sounds quite strong because, if you have control of your Bastions at 100%, which should be pretty easy because you'll be outnumbering the enemy, that can provide you with a very big debuffing aura pretty much everywhere on the map. In your territory anyway, and you can get both of these upgrades in the same game as well. So that is the Nighthaunt faction for you. On paper, they seem very, very strong. I've only played a couple games as them, though, and I still haven't even tried out multiplayer. So it'll be fun to see how each of these factions plays in live matches against other players. But again, let me know if you have any other questions, and if you haven't checked out the other faction-focused videos, please be sure to do that. But thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.